and welcome to another episode of Other Items of Interest. I'm your host, Jack Zablocki. This week, we've got plenty, I promise you. We've got gay penguins, we've got ossified penises, we've got Florida man. Sit back, relax, enjoy. Hey, good morning, good day, good night, whenever you are. Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Other Items of Interest. I'm Jack Zablocki. I don't know what kind of mood I'm in today. Not that it matters. Feeling a little loose. Took some drugs. No, not on any drugs. What did I want to talk about? I'm stalling because I've forgotten. Oh, Twitter. Stupid Twitter. We have a Twitter for the show. It is at Other Items. Just that, at Other Items, if you wanted to follow. And the show does get posted there, just as it gets posted everywhere else, like Stitcher and Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts and all the other podcast places. And I think I read somewhere there's something like 700,000 podcasts. That's a lot. That's just a sea of noise, and this is part of it, part of that sea of noise. Anyway, what else is on the Twitter? Post articles from the show occasionally. That's about it. I really don't like Twitter. I don't like social media in general, so I'd rather not use it. But I guess Twitter is the best for advertising the show, since we have an audience of about 11. Well, that reminds me. The audience of 11. I think we've figured it out that we probably have 11 faithful listeners. Some episodes get more than 11 listeners, 11 downloads. But from what we can tell, there's 11 good people out there listening to the show. So thank you. We do appreciate it. Problem is, we don't know how any of this works, podcasting, so we don't know how to get more listeners. So if anybody can clue me in, you can tweet us. I'd rather you not. Actually, you can email us too. I mention these things at the end of the show, the very end, but I say them so fast and there's music behind me. I don't know if anybody can hear it or is even listening at that point. But we have an email address, otheritemsofinterestpod, pod, at gmail.com. You can message us at any time with any sort of message you'd like to send. We'd love to hear from you. And we might even write you back. We probably will write you back because there's very little to do in our lives. Other than that, we've got a pretty good show for you today. Usually it's the same old bullshit. It's some animal stories. Not happy animal stories. There's one happy animal story in there. The rest are shocking, to say the least. And we got some other stories after that. A real mix of things. Some Florida man story. One Florida man story, at least. Haven't done a lot of Florida man stories. They're always frightening. And I don't want to become the Florida man story show. But yeah. Let's continue, shall we? We shall. And here we go, right at the top of the show. We have an update from many months ago. It feels like it's been many months. But there was a story about a man who threw an iguana at a restaurant manager. And then his whole family got involved because they claimed it was their... The boy of the family claimed it was his pet. A gift from God, I think he called it, because it fell out of a tree. But yeah, here's an update on that. We'll get into the old story as it progresses. Judge tells restaurant iguana thrower, don't brag about it. I guess he was getting a big mouth about being in the news, his claim to fame. I guess that was a no-no for the judge. This one comes from MiamiHerald.com. An Ohio judge has told a man who threw an iguana at a restaurant manager that he's not allowed to brag about the crime. 49-year-old Arnold Teeter, that's right, Teeter, pled guilty. I think it's pleaded guilty. Thursday to cruelty to animals and resisting arrest. Painesville Municipal Judge Michael Cicconetti. And I just want to point out this judge's last name. I wouldn't have been able to pronounce it. It's an Italian name. The Miami Herald was nice enough, in parentheses, to give a phonetic pronunciation of the judge's name. Cicconetti. It's spelled Cicconetti, and I would have stumbled all over that like I stumbled over everything. But they gave us the pronunciation key right there, and I thank you for that. So Judge Michael Cicconetti sentenced Teeter to 2 years of probation. The conditions also include that Teeter cannot live in a home with animals for 5 years. That's a strange sentence. In April, authorities said Teeter pulled the 2-foot-long iguana from under his sweatshirt, swung it around by its tail, and threw it at a Perkins restaurant manager but missed. The iguana suffered a fractured leg but has since recovered. The lizard had ended up with Teeter after getting away from its rightful owner while they were moving. It has since been returned to them. So I guess his son doesn't have the iguana as a pet anymore. This guy was and his wife were divorcing. I think he went through a little mental breakdown. Maybe. I'm not saying that he did. I don't want to be sued for something that's inaccurate. But who throws an iguana? Really, man. Anyway, this is all settled now. The iguana is back with its original owners. I feel for the little boy, I guess. Parents divorce, and then he loses his newfound iguana. But what are you going to do? It's life lessons, right? Right. What's scarier than being chased by the police? Being chased by the police and wasps. I mean the bug wasps, not white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Not in any sense of the term. Angry wasps help German police nab fleeing fugitive. A fugitive in Germany has been nabbed thanks to the help of angry wasps. Oldenburg police said the unusual sting operation took place Monday after officers tried to arrest a 32-year-old man to serve an outstanding 11-month custodial sentence. I don't know what a custodial sentence is. I mean, I guess that's his the time he has to serve. It's just not the words I'm used to. Not that I get arrested a lot, or ever. The suspect, whose name wasn't released, fled from police and jumped from a balcony straight into a wasp's nest. The irate insects attacked the man, prompting him to run onto the street. Officers tried to apprehend him there, only to be attacked by wasps themselves. You know, we did another article about like West Virginians getting high off wasp spray. And I realized when you have to say the word wasp so many times, it just doesn't sound real anymore. And it's happening here with this article. Let's wrap it up. The suspect managed to break free, but with wasps in hot pursuit, oh God, chose to jump into an inflatable pool where he was arrested. Well, thank goodness for the inflatable pool. Yeah, it sounds like bad news. Cops and wasps. Oh, second story, I'm stumbling already. And now, for a story about an animal you wouldn't think could kill you, nearly killed a couple of people. From BBC News, Telford mom nearly died after cleaning fish tank coral. And there we have a picture of the mother and her 3 girls, all alive. A woman said she thought she was going to die after she was poisoned while cleaning out her fish tank. Katie Stevenson, 34, and her husband Mark were scrubbing coral in the tank at their home in Newport, Telford, when they began to feel ill. I wouldn't think you need to scrub coral. I thought it was a self-cleansing thing. I don't know. But I wouldn't think to scrub coral. Mrs. Stevenson began shivering, shaking, and hallucinating after the coral released deadly toxic fumes. Unfortunately, the article doesn't say what they were hallucinating. I'd be interested to know. Not that I'm going to do coral poison myself. It seems rather silly, to say the least. The couple and their 3 daughters had to be put in isolation, and their home was sealed off for 2 days. Mrs. Stevenson was cleaning coral from an ornamental bridge on July 30th after the family's fish had died while they were on holiday. When you scrub it, because it's alive, it lets off toxins, she said. Right. That's why I figured he didn't scrub coral. It thinks it's being attacked or something. Then it releases the toxins. It makes you hallucinate, and then you die. That sounds like a good Friday night. After 10 minutes, the couple began coughing, and within an hour, Mrs. Stevenson started getting really bad shivers. Paramedics were called to the family, and the family had to be put in isolation for 48 hours while their house was sealed off and deep cleaned. And there's a picture of their little aquarium. It looks like a mess going on in there. Doesn't look. I wouldn't want that in my house. I'm not going to say it's an embarrassment. It's not nice looking. You can check it out in the show notes at www.otheritemsofinterest.com. It's a correct address and an incorrect address. I almost gave you the incorrect address out of habit because I'm a schmuck. Mrs. Stevenson later learned she had been poisoned by palytoxin, a potentially lethal chemical released by coral when stressed. My kids could have died. We could have died. I've not slept properly since, she said. Nobody seems to know how dangerous coral can be, and we only found out the hard way. She criticized the lack of information she received when she bought the coral, admitting she was not told and did not know it was a living organism. Really? Really, lady? What about Google? Don't you have internet there? The family are now back at home, but Mrs. Stevenson is still unable to eat due to an inflamed stomach. It nearly killed us, she said. I don't want people to go through what we went through. And that's that. No word on whether they kept the aquarium or if they're going to continue with the aquarium hobby. I'd really like to know. But I'm surprised you buy an aquarium and whatever fish and the coral, and you don't do any kind of Google research. You go on the Google, click it away on the keyboard, and go to Wikipedia first, of course, and move on from there to some kind of expert page. And you learn, oh, by the way, coral is alive. Don't scrub it. It'll kill you. You live, you learn. Once again. Maybe this episode's going to be all about life lessons. Maybe we can spin it into a positive thing. Probably not. Another life lesson, that being, don't put an octopus on your face. Just don't. Why would you? This lady did. From cbc.ca, we all make mistakes, says woman who got bit by an octopus she put on her face. There are a few pictures of her on the CBC website with the octopus on her face, smiling at the moment. There are no pictures after she was bitten, because I doubt she would be smiling. When Jamie Bisceglia first put an octopus on her face, she says it felt squishy and fun. The Fox Island, Washington woman was participating in a Tacoma fishing derby over the weekend and wanted to help her friend get a good picture for the photo contest. The suckers weren't like strong. They just kind of crept all over my face and my nose and my ears, she told As It Happens guest host Paya Chapatepatepatepate. I cannot say this last name. And there's no pronunciation key like the Miami Herald does. God bless them. So whoever the As It Happens guest host was most recently on CBC Radio. Then the freshly captured mollusk chomped down. You forget they've got a big beak in there. It can tear things to shreds. When its beak entered my chin, it was the most intense pain, she said. It felt like a barbed hook. If I tried to release it off my face, I knew I was going to tear skin or flesh away. Well, she acted rationally in the moment, I gotta say that. It was a split-second decision and one she regrets. I'm not here to, try to make myself look good because I know I don't. We're human. We all make mistakes. Well, she's very down to earth with this, I'll say. But we're human. We all make mistakes. I've never liked that saying. I don't know what it is about it. We're only human. Well, okay. She waited until the creature loosened its jaws a bit, then quickly hauled it off her face, just narrowly managing to free herself before it could bite again. The wound was bleeding profusely, but Bisceglia says she played it cool. I'm a strong-willed woman. I'm by myself on a boat. I've got 5 guys watching me, so I try not to act like anything major is going on, she said. She could be putting up a front there, I don't know. I grab my towel as it's bleeding, and I just keep it held to my face and go on with fishing in the derby. Well, that is pretty impressive. Octopus takes a chunk out of your face and you just keep going on with your fishing. Not bad. Bisceglia kept on fishing through that Friday evening and into the next afternoon. She went home on Saturday evening, and when she woke up the next day, her face was completely swollen. The octopus was venomous. Oof. My eyes were swollen. I couldn't see very well out of my left side. My glands were completely swollen. Underneath my chin was a large pus pocket. And then the left side of my face was completely paralyzed, she said. Oh. Still, she didn't panic. Bisceglia says she hopped in the shower, cleaned her fishing gear, and then headed straight to the hospital. She cleaned her fishing gear? This woman has odd priorities. Really, I mean, your head looks probably like just a weird kind of stress ball, those squishy ones that when you squish it, it stays into that shape. That's probably what her face looked like a sloth from Goonies. There wasn't a second before they had me in a room because it was the rarest case they had ever seen, she said. I was the talk of the hospital. Bisceglia is out of the hospital and recovering now. She's taking antibiotics and medications to deal with the venom. She has a wound on her face that she suspects will become a lifelong scar. But she ultimately got the last laugh. She took the octopus home, cooked it, and ate it. A fact she says she's been getting a lot of flack for online. I'm not here to judge anyone, and if they want to judge me, so be it. They have nothing better to do than, ridicule somebody for doing what they love to do. This is my passion. I fish, I hunt, and I'm a forager. And we all eat, right? Right. I'm not judging her. I'm making fun of her a little bit. A good ribbing. Because she put an octopus on her face. It's kind of stupid. But she's better now. That's all that matters. I wish they had a picture of her when she woke up that morning with just from the bite and the venom. I can't imagine what that looked like. It sounded like it affected her whole face, plus her neck because of her glands. I bet she won't do that again. Another life lesson learned, right? Don't put an octopus on your face. It might be venomous. And rounding out our stories of creatures from the animal kingdom, this one's a cute one. It's adorable. From BBC.com, Berlin gay penguins adopt abandoned egg. 2 male penguins at Berlin Zoo have been caring for an abandoned egg since July in their long quest to become parents. The same-sex couple, Skipper and Ping, are keen to have a chick of their own and have even been known to try to hatch fish and stones, spokesman Maximilian Jaeger told the Berliner Zeitung newspaper. He said the 2 king penguins adopted the egg, which had been abandoned by the sole female of the species at the zoo, and are behaving like model parents, taking turns to keep the egg warm by nesting it on their feet under a flap of belly skin. If you don't know, that's how penguins keep their eggs, to keep them warm so they can hatch. They rest them on their feet, and they kind of do a waddle if they need to move. I don't think they move all that much. Then their little belly flap keeps it warm. But, keeping it on their feet keeps it off the ground where it would be very cold. You probably already knew that. I just threw it out there to sound interesting. I know that from the Morgan Freeman Penguins documentary. Okay? And you probably know it from there too. I guess we can be friends now. They are now doing their best to protect their precious charge from jealous rivals after a little encouragement from their human guardians. We just had to put it on their feet of one of the guys, and he already knew what to do, says zookeeper Norbert Zammel. Norbert. The female in the group of 6 king penguins has shown little interest in her eggs recently, and the zoo hasn't had a chick since 2002. Successful hatching would be great, Mr. Zammel told the BZ tabloid. The 10-year-old pair moved to Berlin from Hamburg's Hagenbeck Zoo in April and have been inseparable ever since. Excuse me. Gay penguins of either sex are nothing new and are to be found both in the wild and in captivity. Those at the London Zoo joined in the city's Pride event this year, and Dingle Ocean World Aquarium in Ireland. Oh man, I'm sorry for laughing. Every time I've gone through this article, Dingle Ocean World Aquarium makes me laugh. All right, let's back up. Those at London Zoo joined in the city's Pride event this year, and Dingle Ocean World Aquarium in Ireland even has a gay penguin majority, with 8 out of its 14 Gentoo penguins coupled up with a partner of the same sex. I didn't realize penguins were so gay. That there were a lot of gay penguins. I just didn't know. Now we do. But the heartache for Skipper and Ping may not be over yet. The thing is, we don't know if the egg was fertilized, Maximilian Jaeger says. If they are lucky, Berlin Zoo will welcome its first chick born to a same-sex couple in early September. Well, here's hoping. No life lesson here. Just a cute story. I can't say dingle without laughing. Hey, can you say ungrateful little shit? Because I got a story about one. From dailymail.co.uk, Indian man pushes his parents' birthday present BMW into a river because he was angry it wasn't a Jaguar. Don't you hate that when you get a BMW for a gift as a present and it's not a more expensive car, so you just trash it? A man in India has pushed a brand new car into a river because he was upset his parents gifted him a BMW instead of a Jaguar for his birthday. The young man only known as Akash from Haryana in northern India, was given a BMW M3 car by his mother and father. Yeah, kid's an ass. In an act of protest over not getting the vehicle he wanted, the man ditched the car, but later jumped into the river and joined drivers to try and save it. And there is video of the incident. I think he took his own pictures. I'm sure there are more from other people. BMWs cost around 3.5 million rupees, about $49,000 American, locally, while Jaguars are more expensive, costing about 5 million rupees, about $70,000 American. Shocking footage shows the car floating away on the river in the northern Indian state before it gets stuck on a bank of tall grass. Akash, believed to be the son of a local landlord, swims in and tries to rescue it with the help of others. Police are investigating the incident, local media report. And there we have the car in the river. It didn't get too far into the river, but I think the current took it in a little bit more, because the second picture after the first initial one of people trying to save it, it's pretty far in there. The water level is just about up to the door handles on the car. Doesn't look salvageable. Oh, there's another picture. I don't know if water's getting to the engine, but most likely is. Oh, the front end is completely submerged. There it goes all the way under. The trunk is open, but it's not submerged yet. And then it's gone. Nice going, Akash. Schmuck. There's more article. A police official told IANS the young man filmed the video himself, as I had said earlier. Since the video has gone viral, people have hit out at the driver online, accusing him of being ungrateful. One person said, "Your parents did not teach," it says teacher, but I think it means teach. "Your parents did not teach you the concept of gifts." Another wrote, "Don't know whoever this disappointed idiot is. He should have sold it and taken care of thousands of poor kids' education. They would have forever gratefully for his philanthropy." Why are they picking quotes from comment boards, Twitter, whatever, that completely don't make sense or have typos and whatever else? Why do they even put that shit at the end of the article, since they already have their own comment section? It's ridiculous. I just waded into the comment section at the bottom of the article. Ungrateful piece of shit. Okay, I think that sums it up for everybody. And here we go from foxnews.com. Yes, I'm still using Fox News as a source. It's not like I'm preaching their politics or anything. I needed a source for this article, and Fox News happens to be it. Chocolate shop sells out of sweets after offering deal to anyone who burns Confederate flag. Plus, there's an irony here with the subject of burning the Confederate flag in Fox News. I hate the website, though. I still do. I don't understand these news websites that have a video player up top, right? And you can choose to watch it or not. Some of them have autoplay. You can download an extension which stops autoplay, which is what I've done. Now, once you start scrolling past the video, it pops up and goes down to your lower right hand of your screen, as if you want to watch the video while reading the article. And I don't want to do that. I don't think anybody wants to do that. I wish they would stop that shit. Okay. Back to the article at hand. A chocolatier in North Carolina claims he sold out of every chocolate and gelato offering in his store after offering a free piece of chocolate to anyone who burned a Confederate flag. You know what? Clap for that guy. Applause. It's for you, Mr. Matthew Shepard. Matthew Shepard of Matthew's Chocolates in Hillsborough said he came up with the idea after he grew increasingly frustrated with a group that gathered outside his shop in the downtown area to wave Confederate flags. Yikes. That just seems obnoxious as hell. Bunch of hillbilly rednecks waving the Confederate flag in just a downtown area where people are shopping and trying to get something to eat. And there's a picture there of his chocolate sign, and you can see down the street scumbags with their Confederate flag. They were calling me names. They're calling everybody names, Shepard said to CBS 17. They're instigating, they're poking, they're blocking the sidewalk. And the sign outside of his store says, "Burn a rebel flag, get a free chocolate." Sounds like a good deal. Fed up, Shepard called the police, but was told the group was protected by free speech and there was nothing they could do. So instead, the chocolatier exercised his own First Amendment rights on a sign placed outside his door on July 27th. And I already read that. Burn rebel flag, get a free chocolate. Shepard said to CBS 17 that he wrote the sign, which went viral on social media, to lighten the mood. None of the locals want that flag there, none of them. So instead of seeing angry people, I was seeing people, "Oh, look at this," he said. It's kind of an odd sentence, but probably sounded better when he said it. And there's a picture of his chocolates. I'm not a candy guy. I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but these look really good. Really, I would snatch up as many Confederate flags as I could and just burn one after the other and claim my chocolate. They look really good. The move paid off, Shepard said. In an updated post shared to Facebook on Sunday, August 4th, the chocolate shop owner announced he had to close his business for 3 days because he could not meet the outrageous demand that kept pouring in for more of his confections. Shepard had also said he initially received death threats from all over the nation after the sign started drawing attention, but the support seems to have far outweighed the negativity. What a week. I have to apologize to everyone, though. We will not be opening on Sunday. We have sold out of everything. There's nothing to sell. No gelato, no chocolates. I am truly sorry for this. I just couldn't make enough chocolates to keep up, he wrote. Thank you all for your support. It is overwhelming, and I am touched by the love and support pouring in from all over the state, he continued. Even the mayor of Hillsborough, Tom Stevens, spoke out against the group waving the Confederate flags in the downtown area. I firmly believe that showing the Confederate flag in public, regardless of any other intent, sends a message that reenacts how the flag was used to intimidate persons of color and is a hateful message, Stevens said to CBS 17. He also posted a long explanation of his feelings behind the flag on his Facebook page. And there's a link to that right at the site. If you follow the show notes at www.otheritemsofinterest.com. And usually at this point, at the end of the article, I warn you not to wade into the comments. They have turned the comments off for this article. Fox News has. I can only wonder why. Let's take a trip to Nebraska, see what's going on there, shall we? We shall. From cbslocal.com, actually it's boston.cbslocal.com, even though it's a Nebraska story. Strip club help wanted sign asking for nude moms upsets neighbors. That's what they're doing in Nebraska. Have I ever been to I have been to Nebraska. I couldn't remember. I don't remember anything about Nebraska, though. Not at all. The battle over a controversial strip club sign along a busy street is heating up in Nebraska neighborhood. Fully nude girls, stay-at-home moms earn extra cash, reads the sign outside of Candy's, that's with a K, Candy's Gentlemen's Club in Omaha. Apply within. Neighbors want to take it down, saying it's very inappropriate and kind of crass. I imagine, I don't know, I just feel like Nebraska is kind of uptight. I know not everybody, the whole state can't be that way. There's probably college towns that are a little more laid back. But something like this is nutty. Not that I'm saying that it's, a classy joint, Candies. I don't know, actually. Let's get back to the article. Jetta Evelyn said she shouldn't have to explain what it means to her 8-year-old son. In fact, she's the one to explain it to her 8-year-old son. That's her job, being the mother. That's her responsibility. Just like any other question he has. So, Jetta, go get fucked. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. My son has seen this sign and he has asked, Mom, why would moms go be naked? Why do they want naked moms? Evelyn told the CBS affiliate KMTV. Yes, KMTV. They probably show more music videos than regular MTV. Does regular MTV even show videos anymore? I don't know. That's beside the point of the article. The fact that it has fully nude girls, stay-at-home moms, my son can read that. He knows what nude means, and it's just kind of terrible. It's not that bad. There could be way worse things going on in your town. There's a, I don't know, it's Twitter or Instagram or what. It's Twitter. It's a Twitter picture of the strip club. It's not even a big sign, really. They skimped out. They were cheap on this. I think they should get a bigger sign, in fact. Really put some money into it. Lights. Bright lights. Candy's doesn't have a liquor license yet, and that has made it more difficult for the city to regulate the sign, which for now falls into the category of free speech. Some people told KMTV off camera they aren't bothered by the sign or the business, but Greg Johnson, owner of AAA Electrostatic Painting located next door, said he wants Candy's to be a good neighbor and remove the sign. Be a good neighbor and remove the sign. It's one of those asshole things to say. Why don't you be a good neighbor and do what I want? Bow to me. Small businesses, we support them a lot, but businesses like that shouldn't be in this neighborhood like this, he said. Ooh, he's getting like prejudiced. Wish they would take it down, listen to everybody. Candy's had its liquor license denied, but is appealing. Meantime, there's a temporary closed sign on the front door. The owner did not return any calls to KMTV. So that's a small town problem there. It's interesting. Just because it's so insignificant, nobody should give a shit. Now, I'm sorry I told Jetta to go get fucked. I apologize. Life lesson right there. Don't let your emotions get a hold of you and act out. She could be a very nice woman, but she really needs to talk to her son about questions, no matter how difficult they may be. This is like a weird version of Mr. Rogers right now. From the files of I Never Want This to Happen to Me, Bronx doctors say man discovered with exceedingly rare condition, his penis is turning into bone. I know there's a joke in there somewhere about penis and bone, but this is too terrifying to be making jokes right now. This comes from newyork.cbslocal.com. Doctors in the Bronx say they have encountered one of the rarest medical mysteries they've come across. A man's penis was literally turning to bone. Literally turning to bone. According to a team of physicians from Lincoln Medical and Mental Health Center, a 63-year-old man suffered a fall onto the pavement and went to the hospital complaining of knee pain. He was walking on the sidewalk with his cane when he fell onto his buttocks. Shortly thereafter, he started to have a left knee pain, the doctors reported in the medical journal Urology Case Reports. Doctors did an x-ray on the 63-year-old's pelvis to make sure he hadn't hurt his hip as well, and that's when the stunning discovery was made. An extensive plaque-like calcification along the expected distribution of the penis was evident. Allow me to read that again. An extensive plaque-like calcification along the expected distribution of the penis was evident. The Bronx doctors say the unidentified man was likely suffering from an exceedingly rare case of ossification or the abnormal formation of bone. Penile ossification remains I don't know, that just hit me. Penile ossification. Penile ossification remains a relatively rare condition being mentioned in very few journals, the Bronx doctors said. There are reportedly less than 40 published cases of a man's penis turning to bone in this way. Unfortunately, the staff at Lincoln Medical could not examine the man's pelvic paralysis further. The 63-year-old reportedly decided to leave the hospital against the advice of medics, and a follow-up lab exam could not be done. For now, a medical mystery is still walking around New York. Yeah, one of millions. This guy didn't even want to get his ossified penis taken care of. He's just like, this is too embarrassing. I'm out. I'm checking out early. Catch me if you can. You won't. Sounds like the worst superhero origin story, or supervillain origin story. Penile ossification, man. This one you can call a life lesson. This is a public service announcement. I don't think many women need to be told this, but it's from the BBC.com. Warnings after woman is burned by vagina steaming. I guess this is a thing now. I don't know how it became a thing. I'm sure Gwyneth Paltrow and her Goop Society or whatever it is had something to do with this. Gynecologists are warning of the potential risks of vaginal steaming after it emerged a Canadian woman burned herself attempting one. A case study involving a 62-year-old was published in the Journal of Obstetrics and Gynecology Canada. The woman had been suffering from a prolapsed vagina and believed the treatment could help avoid surgery. If you don't know what prolapsed means, it means it's fallen out. You can have it on your vagina, as said here, or your anus can become prolapsed. I think the cute term for that is pink sock. That's scary as hell. Back to the article. Vaginal steaming, which involves sitting over a hot water and herb mix, has seen a growth in popularity. It doesn't say what kind of herbs. I doubt it's like garlic and parsley and oregano. It and other treatments for intimate areas, including vulva facials, are now available at some salons and spas. The LA Times first reported on the steaming trend in 2010, and it later gained widespread attention when Gwyneth Paltrow's Goop brand recommended it. Man, she's dangerous. For a while, she was like selling a jade egg that you were supposed to put in your vagina. And a lot of doctors had to come out and say, don't do that. If you're thinking about it, or you already have, don't do that. Don't put a jade egg in your vagina. Jade is very porous and can be a lot of bacteria. Back to the article again. I'm getting really distracted. Last year, U.S. model Chrissy Teigen, who gives a shit, also shared a photograph of herself undergoing the treatment, and there's a Twitter picture of her with a facial mask on. She's, I guess she's doing the treatment there in the Twitter picture. She has a towel over her lap, and her legs are widespread. So I assume she is doing it. It says down here, face mask, heat pad, vagina steam. Good for her. People tweet everything. They do. Stop. There's oversharing. Back to the article again. I'm not going to get through this. Spas advertising V-steaming claim it has been used throughout history in countries in Asia and Africa. They say the practice, which is sometimes called yoni steaming, acts to detox the vagina. You don't need to detox the vagina. Just stop. Experts, however, warn it can be dangerous and say there is no proven medical evidence for the health claims being made, including that steaming can ease period pains or help with fertility. Dr. Vanessa McKay, a consultant and spokeswoman for the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, say it is a myth that the vagina requires extensive cleaning or treatment. She recommends using plain, unperfumed soaps on the external vulva area only. The vagina contains good bacteria which are there to protect it, she said in a statement. Steaming the vagina could affect this healthy balance of bacteria and pH levels and cause irritation, infection, such as bacterial vaginosis or thrush. I hate the word thrush, and I don't want anything to do with, But thrush sounds like what it is. It's not a pleasant word or condition. And inflammation. It could also burn the delicate skin around the vagina. The number of doctors have been sharing the injured woman's story in recent days in order to highlight the potential dangers from steaming. We have one here, a tweet from Dr. Philippa K. Perhaps Philippa, I don't know. She said, I guess it is a she. I can see her little picture. Another things not to do to your vagina, hashtag. After a woman is left with burns after vaginal steaming, click on the link for my views on this, though I am sure you can guess, don't do it. So there you go. And there's a couple more tweets. Oh, there's more article. Dr. Magali Robert, who authored the article, said the injured woman who attempted to steam her vagina on the advice of a traditional Chinese doctor. The woman, who gave permission for her case to be shared, sat over the boiling water for 20 minutes on 2 consecutive days before presenting at an emergency department with injuries. She sustained second-degree burns and had to delay reconstructive surgery while she healed. Dr. Robert, who works in pelvic medicine and reconstructive surgery in Calgary, said word of unconventional therapies like steaming can spread through channels like the internet and word of mouth. Healthcare providers need to be aware of alternative therapies so that they can help women make informed choices and avoid potential harm, she says in the article. Whew. So, if your penis turns to bone, don't leave the hospital early. Get it checked out. Also, don't steam your vagina. 2 good medical PSAs for everybody. I'd like to say we're going to lighten the mood with a Florida man story, but this one's rough. From usatoday.com, Florida man attacks wife's lover with scissors and flees with his penis, police say. And right up top we have his mugshot. It's a video. I don't know. I didn't watch the video. The article was good enough. A Florida man used scissors to cut off the penis of a man he suspected of sleeping with his wife, according to law enforcement officials. The Gilchrist County Sheriff's Office arrested Alex Bonilla, 49, on Sunday. He is accused of breaking into the victim's house, holding him at gunpoint, and tying him up before mutilating him. Mutilation indeed. The unnamed victim was transported to a hospital Sunday and is in stable condition. He told deputies that Bonilla fled the scene with his severed penis. Bonilla was arrested a couple of hours later. No additional evidence was found in a county-wide search. Authorities did not specify whether the victim's penis was recovered. That sounds like we're not going to find that penis. No additional evidence was found in a county-wide search. He probably fed that thing to a gator and moved on with his life. Well, arrested if that's moving on with your life. Authorities are still working to determine a motive, according to a press release Tuesday. However, Bonilla told deputies he caught the victim sleeping with his wife in May, according to the police report obtained by local media outlets. 2 children were inside the home during the alleged attack. According to the report, charges against Bonilla include aggravated assault, armed battery, and burglary. I guess the burglary is because he took the penis with him? How do you put a price on that? You can't really put a price on a penis. Maybe you can. I guess some people get theirs insured if they're in that line of work, working in porn. I don't think this is the case here. Anyway, this guy cut off some guy's penis. And the thing I don't get, he waited so long from May, June, July, August, or July, I guess. This is an old story. I don't know why I'm reading an old story. Now let's just move on. But he waited a good few months. Do you think he was just waiting to cool down from the anger of this guy? I don't even know if he really did sleep with Bonilla's wife. He just couldn't calm down. He's given it time. And he's just like, well, fuck it. I'm going to go cut the guy's penis off. I can't live with this. We may never know. I suspect we will never know. Here's a weird one. I mean, relative to everything else that's weird on the show. This comes from clickorlando.com. I suppose it's a Florida man story. Teacher tells class demonic energy coming from bathroom, Department of Education says. It says former Rockledge High teacher denies telling students about demons and spirits. Florida Department of Education said a former Rockledge High School teacher told his students demonic energy came from the bathroom, that a student was his spirit daughter, and he was another student's spirit husband. How is this just mental illness? How do people come up with this kind of shit? It's odd. It's weird. Edward Tardif, 46. And 46, he's not like a young guy. He knows better at this point, shouldn't he? Edward Tardif, 46, was also accused of holding meditation in his criminal justice classroom during the 2017-2018 school year, as well as trying to smoke with a student and contacting student on social media at inappropriate times. I guess that just means late at night, inappropriate times. Tardif said the district did not welcome him back to the classroom following that school year, and he has not been a teacher since. The state placed Tardif on probation for 2 years, and he cannot apply for a teacher's certificate for 5 years. Tardif, Monday, said all the investigative findings are false. How are that many accusations present? They're just all made up, all of those accusations? This is a total big misunderstanding, he told News 6 at his Port St. John house. About the demonic energy part of the report, Tardif said, I made a reference that maybe there's something evil in the bathroom because there were kids coming out with red eyes. Now he's accusing students of smoking pot in the bathroom, I suppose. Tardif continued defending himself, saying he thought there might have been drug use going on in the bathroom. He said his remarks were off-key. I want to know about the spirit husband and spirit daughter thing. I don't think it gets into that. In the year since he was not reappointed to teach, Tardif said he's looking for a new career. Tardif was also the director of the district's Criminal Justice Academy. He believes he will never teach again and shared this message for his critics. If I was reading the article, I would say it's very strange, very bizarre, but it's just totally taken out of context, Tardif said. And the end on that article. Yeah, it is kind of, I'd like to know more. It is bizarre and weird, but he says it's taken out of context. Why couldn't we just get an explanation of spirit daughter, spirit husband, criminal justice classroom meditations? We don't know anything going on here. Well, good luck to him. This following story comes from the MoscowTimes.com. They give a little bit more of a honest perspective on Russian news, since most Russian news seems to be propaganda. Here we go. Here's the headline. Charles Darwin repents for evolution theory during chat with Russian priest. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had a story about Russian Orthodox priests. They bless everything that comes into contact with them, but they were blessing machine guns, grenades, ICBM missiles for the army. Even a story about blessing a gangster's gun for him. So Russian Orthodox priests are a little nutty. I think we can safely say that. So, again, Charles Darwin repents. And you do realize Charles Darwin is dead, right? Okay. Charles Darwin repents for evolution theory during chat with Russian priest. Charles Darwin has apparently repented for his landmark theory of evolution, according to a Russian Orthodox priest who says he recently spoke with the famed British naturalist. Darwin theorized that modern humans are descended from apes in his 1871 book, The Descent of Man. His writings formed the foundations of modern-day evolutionary biology, a school of thought that roiled religious leaders and still has opponents in the church today. I am not a fan of his monkey theory, so as a priest I was interested in talking to him, said Artemy Vladimirov, an archpriest at Moscow's Alexeyevsky Stavropegial female monastery. That's as good as that one's going to get. In a recent television interview following a visit to Darwin's tomb in London's Westminster Abbey, I turned to the tombstone and asked, Charles, how do you like it there? What do you say now? Do you think there are any intermediate links between species, between a zebra and a giraffe? Vladimirov recounted. I guess he's assuming that Charles Darwin is in hell, and you can talk to him through the tombstone like it's a microphone or something. Much to the archpriest's astonishment, Darwin not only responded to his inquiry from beyond the grave, but offered somber repentance for his contribution to science. Father, do not be tempted by my theory. I put forward this hypothesis, which I now repent. You have nothing to do with a bear or a pig. Vladimirov quoted the scientist as assuring him. Recounting his miraculous encounter, Vladimirov called Darwin's alleged posthumous regrets a triumph of reason and orthodoxy. However, the archpriest has since said that his televised words were taken out of context and that he had merely been joking. What a funny guy. I can see... I just don't care. This is English humor, which sounds quite appropriate in the mouth of an educated priest, Vladimirov told the Moscow Times on Tuesday. The campaign that broke out before my eyes regarding this notorious dialogue once again reminded me that the media are like hungry piranhas who are looking for a piece of meat to tear into pieces. I don't want to give lectures to simpletons who doubted the mental state of a shepherd who says strange things, he added. I believe that a lack of humor is the beginning of an emotional disability. He's got something there, that the lack of humor is the beginning of an emotional disability. Then he went to go bless a missile. I don't know. That's the end of the article. I really hate mayonnaise. How about we get into the article before I start, just spouting off nonsense? From kget.com, man accused of killing wife claims powerful group infected him with mayonnaise. I don't know if I hate mayonnaise that much. I don't think I'm getting infected by it. Let's get to the article. Arrested in the death of his wife, Nathaniel Robertson admitted during an interview with sheriff's detectives to beating her with a concrete block. But Robertson, in a confusing, rambling statement, said he did it to give her compassion and mercy, as the alignments were not in place to protect her, according to recently released court documents. He said he had been infected by mayonnaise, quote-unquote, they put in him. The they, in this case, was a group of brutal, powerful people Robertson said he couldn't identify. There was something inside him releasing information from the Revolutionary War. That's a real sentence. There was something inside him releasing information from the Revolutionary War. Asked if he used drugs, he said he used ice to help him breathe. Ice is commonly used to refer to methamphetamine. Robertson also said he'd been ingesting crystal, which a detective understood to mean crystal meth. Real quick public service announcement to all 11 listeners out there. Don't do meth. I know it's something you don't have to be told, but I just like to put it out there. Don't touch the stuff. I've never done it. I don't want to do it. I've seen people on it. It's crazy town. It's a one-way ticket to crazy town. Anywho, Robertson said he loved his wife and she was his best friend. I didn't want it to be a painful thing, Robertson told investigators. I didn't want to hit her a bunch of times. I wanted to end it. I didn't want her suffering. Crazy town, I'm telling you. Robertson, 46, has pleaded not guilty to a charge of first-degree murder in the death of Lydia Robertson, 57. He's held on $1 million bail. Deputies dispatched to a residence in the 300 block of Sycamore Drive the morning of July 11th found blood spattered. Spattered? Shouldn't it be splattered? Splattered? Who cares? Across the floor at the front entrance. Lydia Robertson was lying on the floor with major head trauma and a large pool of blood surrounding her. A large concrete block was next to her. A neighbor told deputies she heard arguing coming from the Robertsons' residence the night before. The neighbor said she saw Nathaniel Robertson leave the residence and later return carrying what she described as a large rock. Nathaniel Robertson again left his residence around 1:30 a.m. and walked towards Riverview Park, the neighbor told deputies. Another person said Nathaniel Robertson suffered from mental illness and abused drugs, and he and Lydia Robertson had remained married only for financial reasons. Deputies arrested Nathaniel Robertson at the park. He said he had been walking around looking for a place to kill himself, according to the documents. That's a pretty crazy story. Again, stay away from regular methamphetamine. Stay away from crystal methamphetamine. Just don't get involved in it. Please. Thank you. And here we are at the end of the show. Our last story to go. From 6abc.com, man wearing TV on head, caught on camera, leaving old TVs on Virginia front porches. And right up top is one of those doorbell videos catching the action. If you want to check it out, go to the show notes at www.otheritemsofinterest.com so you can see what's going on exactly. It's a man with a TV on his head, carrying a TV, placing it down. Residents living in a Virginia neighborhood woke up to find free televisions on their doorsteps. It sounds like a great gift until you see the older box sets left at the homes. Yeah, these aren't new TVs. These are big old box ones. He's committed to his trade, said homeowner Jim Brooksbank. Doorbell surveillance cameras captured the man with a TV set over his head, laying an older set down on someone's front porch and just walking off. Brooksbank says he wants to be known as the TV Santa Claus. I don't know. I don't know why they interviewed this guy. Just kept every quote he had. There's more from Brooksbank. I don't get it. I guess it must be his video. So he gets the say in the article. The bizarre discovery happened Sunday morning in Henricos, Hampshire neighborhood. Outdated boxes were found at more than 50 homes. 50 homes. That is dedication. That is nice. We got an old tube-style TV, 13-inch, said Brooksbank. See, there he is again. I thought my son brought it home, but apparently not. They had way too much time on their hands if they had all these TVs and spread them all over the neighborhood, said homeowner Michael Kroll. There we go, a different guy. Henrico police tuned into the situation. Henrico police are tuned into the situation. They have security camera video from multiple neighbors, but think it's only a prank targeting no one in particular. Well, yeah, 50 TVs, 50 homes. That's no one in particular. That's everybody in particular. At most, this seems to be more an inconvenience to the community, said one officer. Officers and county workers spent Sunday morning picking up the old units and hauling them away. It didn't really inconvenience the community, I don't think, just the officers who had to pick them up. That's funny. The police did a great job of coming up and collecting them all, said Brooksbank. Fucking Brooksbank. This is the second time the TV set mystery has played out in Glen Allen. The same thing happened in a different neighborhood last August. I think it's just a prank. Some college students who are just bored, said Kroll. It's summer and people are getting ready to go back to school. Maybe TV Man was just ready to strike and put a little humor in our lives, added Brooksbank. I'm saying Brooksbank too much now. It's getting weird. In the absence of knowing the brains inside the box, these homeowners are left only to guess what it all means. According to Henrico police, the only real crime committed was illegal dumping. And it got cleaned up by the cops who had nothing better to do, probably. And that's that. That's a nice, innocent story for everyone to enjoy. No prolapsed vaginas, no ossified penises, no attacking animals. Just a good old prank for fun, right? Right. Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. Cue the music. Thank you for sharing your time with us this week. This has been Other Items of Interest. I've been Jack Zablocki. Check us out online at www.otheritemsofinterest.com. Email us at otheritemsofinterestpod@gmail.com and on Twitter @otheritems. We'll see you next week, folks. Bye-bye.